Oh, Jesus Christ. How long has it been? Almost a month ago? Well, God, fuck. Hey everybody, it's me, the one and only Kira, I guess. And I know I said in my introduction-ish video that I wasn't gonna do story times, but this story is just so crazy that I kind of have to tell people about it. So I live in the province of the Philippines, right? You know, the green pastures and fields for miles on end. My sister decided that she wanted to try and enroll for a college in the city. We were going to stay in our father's side of the family in the city because they lived there in the city, and we were going to stay there for about 3 days around that time. I decided to come along because I haven't been there in a while, so I went. It was my first time taking the bus without any family supervision, and we were there in around 2 hours. As we were resting, I received a call from my father. So my father drives a motorcycle, and it turns out he lost one of his keys, and he had a spare, but it was in the house that we were in the city, and my father was in the province at that time. So someone had to bring the key to him because he can't drive his motorcycle. And then who was it gonna be? Me. So I had to figure out how to get on a bus by myself and go to back to the province to deliver the keys and then go back to the city because I needed to go there anyway for vacation. It's summer here, by the way, and summer city hot. So after a little resting, I got back up and decided to take the bus back to the province. That was another 2 hours. Little did I know that this was the least of my worries at the time. After that, my father gave me a choice: either take the bus back to the city or ride the motorcycle with him to the city. And I decided to do that because that seemed more fun. So we got on the motorcycle after a bit of resting and started going. After around 30 minutes of, excuse me, not 30 minutes, around like 10 minutes ish, 15 of driving, something happened. The motorcycle broke down. Yep. Now, I'm not a mechanic, so I don't know what exactly broke, but apparently a thing called the lock on the gear or engine of a motorcycle of his motorcycle snapped, and it rendered the gear unable to turn, spun the wheel. Now, at the time, it was just loosened, and it was still drivable. We just needed to adjust it a couple times, but we couldn't go full speed, or else it will loosen once more. So we had to go at a snail's pace of speed in order to find a mechanics or a motorcycle store that would have a replacement lock so we could go faster. So we would spend the next couple hours driving slowly to find any motorcycle stores at the side of the road. And every single one that we went to did not have the lock that we were looking for. And then eventually the lock broke. I actually kept that lock because I thought it was kind of cool looking. So we had to push. It was 7:30 p.m. at the time, and there was still an hour and a half worth of driving left. I was honestly getting very paranoid because I didn't want to be stuck in the city all night, just walking home. That is until the miracle showed up. Wine Motorcycle Shop. They had a lock, and not just one, but two. And so we decided to put both of them on, and to make sure that it doesn't get loosened again, they decided to weld it on. I was honestly really grateful for them because goddamn, I did not want to walk all the way there. So now that everything was going smoothly, we could now drive full speed to back home. And after around an hour and a half of drive, we eventually made it back home. I bought a good ass burger and decided to just take a nap. Now, that might have been the end of the misadventure and the misfortune, but it wasn't the end of the vacation. I still had things to do after my sister was done enrolling in college. Me and my sister and my cousin decided to do some rollerblades. And in the same mall, I found a place that let you play PlayStation games for a certain amount of time, so I decided to use that time to play Elden Ring, a game that I haven't tried yet. I had about an hour worth of footage, and I was able to compress it into 4 minutes, but I ain't gonna show it all. But another problem arose. My sister and I agreed that we were gonna stay there for around 3 days, so I packed 3 days worth of clothing, which for me is about 6 pairs of clothing, because I take a bath twice a day, and so I change twice a day. But my mom convinced my sister, who then convinced me, that we should stay there for about 2 more days, so 5 days worth of clothing. I didn't have enough clothing, so I had to reuse my clothes despite me already wearing them, which was a weird experience. It was honestly disgusting. So finally, on the fifth day, we decided, or it was finally time to go home. So we took the bus once more back home, and it was it was nice. Back home, I got to smell fresh air once more. Not every not everything smelled like shit, and it was great. It was great. It was colder too. And then I got sick, which is why I couldn't immediately make this video. Alright, see ya. Wow, wow, wee, woo.